Today, we're taking a look at the area and perimeter formulas. This is a different way to find area and perimeter. Think about this. What if there are no squares drawn inside of the shape? How can you find its area and perimeter? You can always draw the squares and then count. But that seems like an awful lot of work, especially if the rectangle is large. Is there a better way? Instead of counting squares, you can use an algorithm to find area and perimeter. What's an algorithm? An algorithm, or formula, is like a shortcut. It's an easier, quicker way to solve a math problem. Sounds great. Let's take a look at the formulas for area and perimeter. We'll start with perimeter. There's a couple different formulas for perimeter. One of them is pretty simple. It says that the perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side. So basically, if we have a rectangle, this formula says that to find the perimeter of the rectangle, all we have to do is add up all four sides. So we have 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5. And if we were to add all of those numbers together, we would get a perimeter of 18. So that's one way to find perimeter, is just to think about adding up all four sides, side plus side plus side plus side. There's another way to think about finding perimeter that's even more of a shortcut once you get the hang of it. And that formula says that to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you can do 2 times the length of the rectangle plus 2 times the width of the rectangle. So let's take a look at another rectangle. This rectangle is 6 by 3. So notice that I only labeled 2 sides of the rectangle. You will see this quite often. The length is what we call the longer side. So the length is 6 and the width is 3. If I'm thinking about adding up side plus side plus side plus side, I might get confused because there's only 2 sides labeled. You have to remember that rectangles have opposite congruent sides, which means that if this side is 6, the side opposite or across from it is also 6. Congruent in math means equal. So if this side is 6, this side is 6. If this side is 3, the one directly across from it is also 3. So using the side plus side plus side plus side formula, you could think just adding 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6. Let's try doing 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So the length is 6, so we can think about 2 times 6. The width is 3. So we'll think about 2 times 3, and then we'll just add them together. 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times 3 is 6. And when I add them together, I get 18. So this rectangle has a perimeter of 18. And instead of just adding up all the sides, I tried doubling the length and doubling the width, and then adding them together. Now, let's take a look at a formula we can use to find area. So remember, perimeter is just basically adding up all the sides, or you can think about a shortcut of multiplying the length and width by 2. Area is not adding. Area is not adding up the sides. Area equals the length of the rectangle, the long side, times the width, the short side. So let's look at another rectangle. Actually, let's look at the same rectangle that we looked at earlier, a 5 by 4 rectangle. All right, this rectangle has a length of 5 and a width of 4. So the area formula says that to find area, all I have to do is multiply the length times the width. 5 times 4 is 20. So the area of this rectangle is 20. Let's try one more example of using the area formula. This time, my rectangle is 10 by 2. So to find the area of a 10 by 2 rectangle, I simply multiply 10 times 2. And 10 times 2 is 20. This rectangle also has an area of 20. To find area, we can just multiply the length times the width. If I wanted to find the perimeter of this rectangle, however, I could think about adding up all 4 sides, 10 plus 10, and 2 plus 2, or I could even think about doubling the length and doubling the width, and then adding them together. The perimeter of this rectangle is 24. A 10 and a 10 and a 2 and a 2 all together makes 24.